Hey everybody, and welcome to Who's That Anime with your hosts Steve and Colin. Uh, we are watching Steins Gate Zero still, and
We
it's
are.
it's not about political opinions,
No.
as we've wasted 20 minutes prior to this.
If you're hearing this immediately after the intro, it's because I've cut out 20 minutes of waffling.
I was not waffling. I like the Guy Fawkes thing. That was a good. That was a good bit of
That was good,
entertainment.
but people will never know now. And this is all because I've had one beer. We are here to talk about Steins Gate Zero episode 14 and 15 today. We're continuing on from where we left off, which was Kagari disappearing in the streets while everyone was looking for her.
Yeah, that's right. And we start this episode off with Okabe in a cafe looking at some notes.
Should we do the name of the episode? Episode 14 is called Recognition of the Elastic Limit, Presage or Recognize.
What?
Yep. And go.
So let's just talk about these names. I I think they just like the guy is looking up like things in like maybe an English dictionary or something for the names and just going like that's a good word. Elasticity.
Well, it's
That's
interesting. What's the name of Phoenix Wright in Japanese?
I don't know, Phoenix, right?
No, it's like fuck.
The lawyer who wouldn't say no.
That's it. You got it. Oh, why can't? That's so
Oh,
annoying. Why won't it let me?
that that reminds me of a skit I saw on YouTube. It was like a stand-up comedian, and I don't know why he ended up talking to this person. But he was talking to the guy in the crowd. He was like, "Oh, how many times has you been married?" And the guy goes, "5 times. What's your uh, what's your profession?" And he goes, "Lawyer." And it's like, "Oh God, imagine if you're like a divorce lawyer." And he's like, "Yeah, I am. I'm a lawyer for family or something like that." And it's like, "Oh my God." It's like you're like totally the wrong person for that job, I think.
You certainly are.
So,
I never mind. I got two words that are not at all alike. Confused. So, the Japanese name for this is Dansai Genkai no Riko Ganaisu
for the episode,
for this episode. Yeah,
not Phoenix Wright.
not Phoenix Wright. Well, it's Gaikuten. I think is one of the words in the title for the Japanese of Ace Attorney,
Ah.
and it's Genkai is the word here. So
All right, okay, there you go. There's words. I still think he just points at a bloody dictionary and goes, "Sure, that
let's
sounds
just say
scientific."
let's just say that probably is what it is.
It's like,
So we've left off. Kagari has disappeared. As you said, this episode kicks off with Okabe looking at some notes in a cafe.
mhm. Yeah,
Um, is this bit a flashback? I can't remember.
no, this is present.
Okay.
It, he gets a call from Mayuri saying, "Oh, hey," or he texts and it's like, "Where are you?" And it's, "Oh, in cafe." "Oh, I know the usual, yeah, the usual type thing." And she goes and meets him, and then it has like a flashback of the scene of him running about the streets because he's obviously got back.
Yeah.
Took him like took him making ages to go to like the place in in the middle of nowhere, right? Even with
Yeah.
like Monica's initial D driving, literally drifting around all the bloody corners in the mountains.
Must have been hours outside of town.
Yeah, yeah, he still managed to get back in time to help search for Kagagi, Kagati,
Yep.
red hair girl. It's not
Yes. Kurusu.
Carissa. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, he still comes in and helps, and Suzuha has found the phone. I can't remember. I remember we've seen the phone at the end,
Yeah.
lying on the ground in the rain, and then
With the
Daru.
cakes.
Well, the cakes was at the junction,
Were they
but the
elsewhere? They were at the junction, yeah.
yeah, and the phone was further along, the street, and yeah. So basically, she's sitting there crying, and Dara's like, "Oh, you want to catch a cold in the rain type thing? We got to go type. Let's go." And they were just standing next to the phone. Uh, and then I think they basically state it's been a few months now, so like it's coming up to maybe mid spring now.
Oh, yeah,
Which
it's like 6 months later, I
I
think.
don't no, I don't think it's quite as far as that because maybe May, because they're coming up and saying, "Oh, summer's just about to come," so they're not quite into summer
Yeah,
yet. And it was Christmas time when
yeah,
all that happened,
that's right.
or January time. Anyway, so and they have like other things, and Moika's sent an update of showing that the place is getting demolished and
Yep.
stuff like that, uh, and I can't remember exactly what happened. So he's there writing his paper and stuff, doing well at university still. Comes and meets, goes back to the lab. Suzuha and Daru are talking to Moa.
Maho?
Maho, that's her name. See, this is why I can't talk about.
Well, you remember the episodes, and I just remember the names. It's a really easy part for me.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is why I can't remember Irish, say pronounce Irish names.
That bit was in the old intro.
Yeah, but you should just keep it in and maybe just like eliminate the whole political bit and just go and put in something like in something along the lines of in the act of decency and such. We have cut this bit because it was getting quite heated. Anyway,
Because it was bad.
it was bad.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, so they're phoning Maho to try and fix the time machine. It's like, oh, we really need you. We're desperate to get you to get this time machine off. And she's like, no. But then, was that the next episode? No,
No,
because it was
no,
this episode. Because next episode
she comes.
she comes, but that's only because the the beg her essentially. So they're doing that. She
Well,
has.
is the bit where Fubuki's in hospital? Is that not at the start of this episode?
No, I didn't think it. I think it was a bit later.
I thought that's how he runs into
Oh, that's how you look around to the professor.
Professor Leskinen.
Yeah, but they were on the phone to Mahal before that, I'm sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because they were like, ah, Okabe's isn't going to do this. He's destroyed it before and destroyed it again, and uh, we really need your brains, your genius brains type thing. She's like, no, I don't think I will. I don't have time. I got my own work, and kind of ends the call, and then oh, maybe it is. Maybe no, because Daru goes to the hospital too.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
Um, and there's a bit where basically Mayuri goes, "Oh, guys, gotta go to the hospital. Fubuki's collapsed and went to the hospital, and we need gotta go and see her." And it's like, "Oh shit, we gotta go and see this person." And
But it turned out it was the other. Like she was actually fine though, right? Like it was just a routine thing.
yeah, it's just a routine thing. And the other friend was getting worked
Yeah.
up, and So is Mayuri. So, question here, right?
Right.
What do you think of Daru's new Rassi Nesbit getup?
The string vest and red suspenders is pretty great.
Yeah,
It's really emphasizing his barrelness.
yeah, yeah. And he's not. He's like, he doesn't even put a shirt on when he goes
Nah,
out.
doesn't even bother.
No.
It's getting warmer though,
Yeah,
to be fair.
yeah, but he had a shirt on when it was really warm in the first season.
That was the first season though.
Yeah.
You got to
Um,
sexy it up in the second one, and this is how they're doing it.
just like that picture.
He's
What
got
was?
like he's got fucking guns though.
He's got the guns, man.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting for him to be Rassi Nesbit and gosh,
Well, he's
have
close enough.
have his effigies on the thoughts of how society works.
No, we don't need that. We don't need that from Daru. We don't need other stuff from Daru, but we don't need that from him also.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they're all at the hospital, and that's when Okabe bumps into Leskinen. He's
He's
like,
talk.
this is the guy. This is the third Einstein.
That's what he's getting called. Yeah. And he's talking to the head of the head of the hospital
Yeah,
about something.
so he's gonna be joining us in September. He's like, are you sure it was okay to tell him that? And he's like, haha, I didn't say which September. Wink.
Wink,
It's
wink.
like, what is happening with you?
Pretty much, yeah.
He's
Uh,
such a mentalist.
yeah, worrying so. And then I think in this episode's yeah, this episode, while they're away, Suzuha goes out the door and finds
She
Kaguri's
fit the Upa toy.
the Upa model,
Yeah.
and she picks it up and sticks it in the house. And then she's like, "Wow, wonder why that's there. That can't be in there for 6 months." So
Yep.
maybe it is 6 months.
Well,
She does say 6 months.
yeah. Well, I'm going to go for a shower.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a shower. So she goes for a shower, and then someone picks the door and breaks in.
Yeah.
It,
Someone wearing a motorcycle helmet
motorcycle.
and black body forming leather.
Yep, someone suspicious like that, and they come in and they brandish a knife and they start to go in and try to attack the person in the shower, which is
Mm-hmm.
Suzuha. But then Suzuha pulls a gun on her and goes, what do you think you're doing?
Uh uh uh.
Ah,
Uh uh uh.
Oh. Anyway, so she pulls and goes, all right, I think it's a bit warm for that get up. Strip.
Yep.
She takes the helmet off and dum dum dum.
Well, you see, first of all, we see red hair, and you're like, oh my god.
It's it's actually Carissa. She wasn't dead.
Well, at first I was going to be like, holy shit, what? And then I was also like, oh, holy shit, what? Because it turns out it's Kaguri.
It's kind of, yep. He's completely brainwashed. Oh, and Okabe has put that theory towards Daru and Suzuha that she was brainwashed before this.
Yes, that's
Um,
right. Yeah, that was part of the conversation they had in the lab.
yeah. Um, and then she basically goes, "Give me back my precious," as a fucking golem.
Give to them.
Give precious back, my precious.
Yeah,
Precious thing
and
from mummy.
she's going full on nuts. She's ready. She's ready to go.
Hmm.
And I think as she's like charging to Suzuha, not like disarm her by saying you're making your mummy very upset. You made your
Yeah,
mummy cry.
made your mummy
It's
cry because she ran away.
Yep, and it's like it immediately not stops her, but like really disarms her.
Yeah, makes her think twice, essentially.
And obviously, like despite being brainwashed, she's definitely aware of other things.
Yeah, and she's like throwing things about and going, "Oh, what's that?" And then they're like fighting over the toy and stuff like that. And Suzuha finally disarms her and gets her to the ground, and basically tells like, "Snap the fuck out of
Yeah.
that, or I will have to kill you." And she's just like lying there, and then Daru comes through the door and goes, "Hey, Suzuha, I'm back," and it's
Oh
like,
fuck.
"Oh, what's going on?" And then
Yep.
that gives enough of a distraction for her to pull out another knife and slice Suzuha right through the chest.
The
Or,
stomach.
yeah, that's a
Because
chest. Well, that's just stomach.
it's really not. Uh,
It is.
it's absolute. Like this is. Like I wish the song Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes explained about chest and stomach,
No,
but that song completely ignores this part.
that's because it's all one bit, man. It's
That's torso. Torso.
torso, chest.
No. That's like tapping the top of your head and saying face.
That is your face.
Moving on. She gets slashed and Kagari bails out.
Yeah,
And of course Suzuha is like, oh shit, and runs after her.
yeah. She runs quite nimble for someone who's just been sliced in half.
Yep.
Uh,
I guess we don't know how deep it is. It's not pouring out with blood, so it looks as if it might just be a bit of a flesh wound, as it were.
yeah, that's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, you pansy. Anyway, so yeah, that's the flesh wound. She leaves after the kind of fight. She drops the knife and picks up the upa and leaves.
Hmm.
And Dara's like, "What?" Because that all kind of happened in an instant. And then Suzaz runs out with her hair a bit torn because she threw knives at her and destroyed and wrecked her braids or something.
Yeah, she does throw knives, doesn't she?
Yeah, so she has her hair kind of long, which is a bit of a change. And then she runs downstairs and she's gone. It's like, oh, god damn it. And they decide not to tell Okabe because they feel that he's pretty much done with it all and doesn't want to be, or she feels that way. Where
Yes.
Dara's very much going, he'll come round eventually. You've been saying that for 6 months, or over six
I
months,
think
a year.
this is where we also come to the conclusion that it's not like in the recent past that she's been brainwashed.
Yeah, because
She's actually been brainwashed since before she
she
came
came.
back to the past.
Yeah,
Which I think is what sort of strengthens this resolve of don't tell Okabe because we need this. We need to make the machine work.
yeah. It was what was it? Was that? Well, she says something about. Oh, it's because when she first meet her and she takes off the helmet, she says she whispers something that you don't really hear very well because there's music playing in the background. At least
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was.
yeah.
But then comes back to it, and it's something like he talks to me or something.
Oh, I hear him. I hear him in my head.
Yeah,
God talks to me.
yeah,
God talks to me.
yeah.
I think is what she says.
I think that's it. And then she's a flashback to the time when she actually gets the gun. She pulls the gun on her in the past, and she says the same thing.
Yeah,
And it,
that's right.
and then she's like, "Fuck, I forgot about that. How could I forgot about that?" But she doesn't mention that to Daru either. She
No,
she
no, no.
she's
She just comes to that conclusion, and that's when she starts trying to convince him that it's a bad idea to tell Okabe.
yeah, and it's
So we've got double deception. We've got
double.
her and Daru not telling Okabe about, or anyone for that matter, about Kagari
Mhm.
coming back, and Suzuha withholding information from Daru about the rationale behind that.
Yeah, yeah, and um, is that where it ends? No, no, because
That,
they make one final plea to Maho.
yeah, they call Maho and they beg her because they say it's like, we really need your genius to make this work.
Yeah, and Daru says something pervy and gets punched in the liver or
He's-
something.
she agrees to come. And he's like, "Oh, please wear white."
Yeah,
It's like, because it'll be summer. You're like, Daru, please, please stop.
yeah, white pies. Um,
Ah, Daru.
yeah, Suzuha punches him for that. That's fine.
Quite rightly.
She literally she does do something off camera to him. He just goes ow.
Yes,
And
deservedly so.
yeah, and she's looking very unhappy about it.
Yes,
Uh, and
as you
then
would.
and then Maho has a conversation with Kurisu, or she gets off the phone. Kurisu or Amadeus, as it is, basically
Yes.
goes, "Oh, I if you're needing to talk, I'm more than happy to listen to you." And then she goes, "Oh, actually, can you find me this magazine?" And she's decided that she's going to Japan.
Yep, that's right.
She also, oh, she also gets a text message from the doctor when he meets Okabe, because
With the cat with the photos.
yeah. Also, Okabe does ask if Maho is with him,
Yep.
and he's like, "Oh, Maho, eh? Oh,
Interested, are you?
yeah, yeah." And says, "But alas, she's still in America." Also, she lives in the White House.
What?
When they zoomed out, when I think they do the text message or
He
the
lives in the
first,
White House.
the first. Aye, she lives in the White House. She doesn't live in the White House, but she lives in a building in a similar style as the White House.
I am looking this up right now.
It's like one scene. It's the only scene that you see the exterior of her house because she screams something, which startles the jogger outside, and it was like a white bricked building with a wee kind of like oval shape bit
Okay.
reminiscent of the White House in my eyes. But then I put things together a lot more that don't look alike at all than some other people. But it's like, whereabouts in America are they meant to be?
It's a valid question.
As
Doesn't say, does it?
if it's California or that, then I don't think they would have that style of building.
No, that's fair.
'Cause
So
it's
yeah, I
more,
think that's pretty much the end of that episode, though, right?
yeah, yeah. You see her getting ready to go and having arguments, filling her luggage. I think as a
Yeah.
montage, and then
S-
that's that. There's there's some ruling out of with Susan and Daru. They rule out who because she's wearing the black helmet and leather outfit. They do rule out that it wasn't her
Oh, the first time.
the first time because like
Yes,
she was at the shrine at the time, so it couldn't be her.
that's
So
right.
they know there's other agents in play.
Yep, very true.
Um, and she knows she's also did flashback and goes, "Ah, that goddamn professor," and storms out. I think she storms out the lab at that point, and Dara's like, "Oh, what professor? What?" Because I don't think she keeps that one under wraps. She just mutters something, and that her entire squad got infiltrated by the professor and didn't like it.
No.
and you kind
Fair,
of see
fair.
a flashback of his face again, but not. But
Yeah.
that's kind of like scarred out, which I think might actually go back to maybe one of the first episodes where Okabe is either jumped into the future or something, where he was running away in the future with soldiers and they're protecting him,
Yeah, that's right.
and then he gets taken hostage, and I think it's probably this professor that's been speaking to him,
Interesting.
because he does indicate that he has someone of special significance to him, and he had to play along the game. He was like a hostage to make him do something.
Interesting. Okay. We'll see
If
how that plays out.
I mean, that was like 10 episodes ago.
Might come. It'll come back. It will.
Yeah. But yeah, this I think that's the end of that episode.
How do you rate that one?
I think it's going good. I think it's getting a bit more intriguing on it. I'm going to move it up to maybe an 8, 8-ish. Not a high 8, or a
Okay.
high 7. About that
So a
factor.
7?
Oh, we'll say 8.
Okay. I'm
Or
gonna stick with the 7. But yeah, it feels like it's going somewhere. And then then we're immediately wrong about that. So, episode 15, recognition of the asymptomatic line. Recognize asymptote is what you might classify as anime filler.
no, there's something that needs
I,
to be
I
done.
know, I know, I know there are some plotline stuff in this, but it just feels like filler.
It does, but a filler nonetheless of Marty, we
Uh,
gotta go, Marty,
we'll talk about that moment when that happens because that annoys me.
go
Um,
go where? To the future. Dum dum
this one, this
dum.
one, this one starts with Maho coming back from Japan, as the last one, of course, was her leaving for Japan. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
No, it's
oh, does it?
no. It starts with
No,
Suzuha in her time capsule having a dream
the
of
dream.
that moment of Kagure appearing in the lab.
That's right.
And then she walks out, and then there's Ferris with a bento box or something.
Yes.
And it's like, here. I said, oh, all right. And then she holds up a picture of her and her mum back in from the future. And it's like, oh, that's your mum. All right. And then she goes out walking and bumps into Yuki,
Yes,
who
she
says,
does.
how's your brother? Who is Daru.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I haven't seen him since the hospital,
yeah.
which
Oh,
I think we're led to believe at this point is at least a week or so ago.
something like that. Yeah. And yeah, because she was there in the hospital with the thing and kind of looks at him and like, oh, look, there's the guy that I kind of fancy. He's here.
Hashida.
Yeah. And then it's cool. And then she was like, "What?" So the next thing I
She storms the
think,
lab.
yeah, she goes back to the lab and basically produces this picture of her saying, "Oh, when was the last time you spoke to Yuki?" And he was like, "Ah," or the last time you went on a date with her. It was like, "Ah, that time in that restaurant or something." And she was like,
Ugh.
"What? Look at this picture. I'm fading away because I'm running out of time. You're losing it."
I
And
can I
she's
tell you how much I fucking hate the faded picture.
what?
It
Him-
this show like there is so much that's it's not unbelievable, but there is so much like stuff in this that is a bit of a reach. Like
Uh-huh.
even by sci-fi standard. Like I think, but one of the things I really appreciate about Steins Gate is that more often than not, there's at least a little bit of hard thought into the science behind it and what the limitations of that would be and what this is.
Mhm.
That faded fucking picture does
Uh-huh.
not belong in this universe.
Ah, but you forget this universe that this universe is our universe, and that's a big famous movie. And
But that was bad then. It's bad now.
whoa, Back to the Future fadedness, man.
If there is you oh the reason that photo was taken
Uh-huh.
was because there were two people in it.
Yeah.
If you go to look for the photo and it's no longer there, that's because you're not going to exist in the future.
Yeah.
If you go to look for it and you are not in it,
Uh-huh.
why was the photo taken? Why do you have the photo?
Oh, because it's slowly
No,
deteriorating.
it
It's
doesn't
slowly,
make sense.
slowly
It's
deteriorating.
nonsense. It
Slowly,
is absolute nonsense.
slowly disappearing to it's stuff.
There is no scientific logic to that phenomenon at all.
But it's to
It is visual metaphor to show something that I think Steins Gate of all things could explain better.
yeah. But anyway,
I was furious when that happened.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just a generally their nod to um the scientific community and cult classics were always just a simple nod.
It would be
Where
like the
this
mention of a book or the mention of a movie or a similarity of like a famous prop or
or the fact that in the original series, the Carissa goes, "Stop being a Wesley" to Okabe,
yeah.
and they were like, "What did you say? Nothing, nothing. I'm not into that. Oh no, we didn't. I'm not into next gen. Sure.
Ugh. It's just that's the thing is like stuff like that I'm totally behind. But this like Steins Gate, as I said, is a show that has its reaches, but is very much founded in sort of like limitation of science,
All right. Anyway, so
telling an interesting story,
hmm,
and
well,
this is bad.
well,
It is very bad.
I'm not going to justify it just yet because it's not until later we find a reason for it. Um, and that's kind of my justification. But we'll talk about that when we come to it. So she basically goes that, and Dario's, "Oh, what? No, but I'm too much of a coward," type thing. As in, then she calls all the girls around to help them have confidence with women because she's no good at it
Yes.
herself. And then it's like, oh fuck. Anyway, so even what's her name? Um, oh fuck, Ruki, Ruka,
Ruka,
Ruka.
Ruka.
Ruka and Mayuri Mocha. Mocha is a weird one to have because she has no confidence in the last season, like the original Society. That's why she ended up joining with CERN and being a patsy as such. But she's there too to help give him guidance with life and all that. Who else appears? Can't remember. Anyway, at this point,
Uh,
I think it's just them. At this point, Okabe's having a meal with the professor and Moho. We didn't really talk about Moho getting into Japan, where
he gets
she's
picked up at the airport
yeah,
by. by the crew.
Yeah, but she's dragging this. She's either shrunk herself to like
I do.
get like
There's
a kid's seat or something, half there, or I don't understand how she is
her
hidden by her.
suitcase is enormous.
Yeah, it's like 5 foot suitcase.
It's just so funny because it's just like, oh, where is she? Oh wait, hang on. There's a suitcase moving its way across the floor.
Yeah, and
There
it's
she
like
is.
that's her is behind the suitcase. It's like,
Yeah.
how did she even get off the conveyor belt? How did it even get on the conveyor belt? It wouldn't fit through all those tiny gaps, and she would probably have to send that special. And she didn't have that suitcase in the montage in the last episode. It was
No.
certainly a lot more sensible sized suitcase.
She did. She did. As you were about to talk about though, because of course all the girls are around trying to fix Daru and make him ready.
Hmm.
Maho clearly brought a lot of equipment with her.
Yes, she does eventually. Yeah, so Okabe and them are having a meeting, and then he gets a call from Mayuri, who says,
Yes.
"Oh yeah, can you come to the lab? We're all here. That'd be pretty cool." Type thing. She's kind of inviting them on
Yep.
her own in the back room where the shower is. And he goes, "Oh no, sorry, I'm busy." And then Suza's already invited Maho, and she's like, "All right, cool, I'm coming." And then something happens, and Maho's basically went her own way, and
Yep.
Okabe stayed with the Professor. And oh fuck, especially the Professor from the future is the Professor.
I thought that's what you meant when you told that the last time.
Wait, what? No, wait, no, just came to
Is
me
that not what
there.
you meant?
No, I was talking about the Professor in the last episode, before last, the 12th episode, where they do see like a picture of her and the Amadeus with the crew, what's the name? Karai's picture on the file, and saying she's Amadeus.
Oh, Kagari.
Yeah, Kagari.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just him from the future.
Okay. Oh
It makes
no.
sense. Makes sense. He's not fading into a picture. Anyway, so Maho and all those are in the lab, giving them advice and going, you need to be confident, good looking, tell funny jokes and shit like that.
Yep.
And then Maho comes in and is like, I can't believe this is what you got me to come over with for, type thing. And then she just brings out this thing. He's lying on, and Dara's lying on the couch, and it was connected up to some brainwave machine to brainwash him. And she goes, "All right, I've got this machine that can alter your brain thoughts. So let's do it." And it worked pretty well. And then as soon as I was like staring at it in horror, it's like, oh fuck. It's the machine to it brainwashes people.
Yep.
And she's just used it on her dad. So he's
Yep.
been more confident. Um and then next thing we know, I think he goes out on a date with Yuki,
It's
and,
horrible.
and
It's
he's
horrible.
full on playboy
Yeah, I hate. I
attire.
hate every minute of this sequence.
He's go, oh, hey, he's got a deeper voice and everything. Hey, Yuki,
Oh, it's so bad.
how
And
you
he's got
doing?
the kind of sort of blue suit jacket. And yeah, I
Good,
hate it. I hate it.
good Miami Vice vibes.
Yeah, and he's
Uh,
he's sort of snapping his fingers at waiters and showing off and talking about the amazing things and places he goes and
yeah,
all that. And then they
yeah.
go up to, is it a rooftop they're on?
It, yeah, the balcony or something of the restaurant or something.
Yeah.
And then he gets on his knees and goes, Yuki,
Oh,
Yuki, Yuki. And then she's kind of like going, oh, this is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden she kind of like face turns from a smile to like a frowny face, and she's like, "No,
Gotta go.
gotta go." Well, you don't find that out until afterwards. He's kind of depressed. Is he on the roof? I think he's on the roof, saying
Yeah,
that
I think he is.
he's ruined it. She hates me, and I'm never going to be able to do it. I'm the biggest loser ever type thing. Eh, scene kind of hit home with me.
I felt sorry for Daru, but not for the like because he was hurting. I did not feel sorry for the Daru who went on that date. he was a nightmare, and I
Yeah,
never want to see him again.
it's not his fault.
No, no, it's Maho's fault.
Oh, that was my whole fault.
It's a
Uh,
100% Maho's fault.
yeah. So anyway, Suzuha trying to convince her, it's like, no, no, don't be stupid. That's not how it is. And then they show the flashback of what happens as he's there on his knee, holding the hand of Yuki, going blah 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 blah. Yuki, 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 Yuki. You're my, and she's like, I gotta go. And then she just like runs away from him.
Ugh,
Exit stage right, as it were.
ugh.
And he's like, oh, and then he's all depressed about that. So then he goes away, still kind of depressed about it.
Yeah,
And then Susan goes into the lab. This is the rooftop of the lab. And all the other girls are there. And they're like, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have, like, I didn't think it would work that well, type thing. And then Ferris is like, oh, yeah, sorry, maybe we shouldn't have doctored that picture.
yeah.
Because,
Well, no, she doesn't. She doesn't say she made up the picture.
yeah, picture got doctored.
No,
Yeah,
does she?
yeah.
I don't think she does. I think
Shoot.
she says that she made up everything around about lying that
No,
uh
no. She got Ferris to work her magic on the picture.
I missed that.
See, it's not as horrible as you think.
It's
You know,
still horrible and I wish they'd
you're
never done it.
you're still so enraged at the fact that they
I
implied that, but that was a homage all to Back to the Future and its stupid picture.
it's
Uh,
a bad homage.
it's the famous part of the movie, though.
It's a bad part of the movie.
It's not the
I
worst.
can hear the sound effect in my head.
What's the sound effects?
That's what happens when they look at the photo and he's fading out of it. And I hate it. I hate it. It's so bad. Back to the Future is a fun movie,
It
but
is.
that's terrible.
That's part of the
It's
charm.
so. It's no. It's not.
It's
It's not.
it's
I disagree.
it's part of the charm, especially when they put the
Part of
music
the
in because
charm
it's so
is
corny.
part of the charm of Back to the Future is Twin Pines Mall being Lone Pines Mall after one of them gets knocked down in the past. Like it changes the future. That like part of the charm is that
But
it's attention to detail.
uh-huh. That's just a corny
There's a
part of
different.
the
There's a
movie.
difference. No, 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 no. There's a difference between corny and bad,
Uh-huh. That's corny.
and that faded picture is bad.
Not bad.
It is. It is a terrible thing that movie has plagued cinema because of that one thing. Like, there's so many good things you could take from Back to the Future, and that is the worst thing you could take from it.
What? No. No. Faded picture, man. Faded pictures is it's not terrible.
It makes no sense.
The movie the trilogy doesn't really make sense.
Oh, hey, artistic license, but
Uh-huh.
a faded picture of a person to denote that they are slowly being that their chances of existing or not existing is a bad visual metaphor.
I just didn't know I to show off some of the cool camera tricks they could do at the time.
That's not a cool camera trick.
That's
That's a
Well,
fade, a plate fade.
yeah, but it goes with some of the stuff, like when um they also did like the recordings, simultaneous recordings in the second part in the old family bit, where they have him and them moving into things, and it was Marty, I think Marty McFly and the other actresses were playing the older versions themselves,
Yes.
and they all kind of merged in together.
There's a
Which
lot of
was,
cool stuff in those movies.
mm.
Well, the first two movies. There's a lot of cool stuff in the first two movies.
And then the third
And
movie.
I don't know if there ever was a third movie, but there certainly was two movies. And
Right.
and I really don't like the picture thing.
So
It's bad sci-fi.
you don't like the picture thing, and you don't acknowledge the third movie.
It's really bad. It's a really bad movie.
It's not the best.
It's correct. It is categorically, objectively, and subjectively the worst of the three.
Didn't he like film them like back to back, the second and third part?
I think you might be right.
I think
I just don't like that film.
the third part.
Yeah, Eh, Back to the Future 1 and 2 are amazing, but
Mm-hmm.
like that picture's just bad sci-fi. Like, it's just not good. It's not clever.
What?
It's like I'm watching Picard at the moment, and I'm genuinely enjoying most of it.
Uh huh.
But there are every now and then they'll be like, "Oh, and then we'll do this," and I'm like, "Why? How the fuck are you going to do that? Why is that going to be a thing? How is that ever? I don't need a Deus Ex Machina in this to fix your show, fix your writing."
Yeah. Problem with there's a lot of problems with that. I I I don't like the fact that I don't like the fact that they decided to make it Star Trek. And also the fact that they had to force nostalgia into it to get people to watch it. Oh, look, it's Picard! Yay! Because, like, I don't know if I mentioned on this, but it was my folks were down, um, I don't know, July. And they were down for a week in July, and my dad was like, "Oh, wow, I saw like an advert for Picard." He wasn't saying Picard, but like he was like, "Oh, they're remaking Next Generation. We should watch that." And it's like, it's not. It's it's not.
It's not Next Generation.
It's not Next Generation. It's it's just using that character and other characters in it to tell
I'm okay.
a
I'm
story.
okay with that. I'd rather that than extending the Next Generation.
Yeah, don't want to extend it either. It's had its time, but at the same time, what I find hard with Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard is I don't think they make good Star Treks. It's not.
I, I think there are
It's.
bits in it that are excellent bits of Star Trek, and I think there are bits in it that are poorly written, in my opinion.
Well,
And like
man,
I
Star Trek
but
was like that.
well, yeah. There was there's like a lot. Like the first couple of seasons of TNG are not the best.
Oh no, they were fucking. They were dodgy as
They're
shit.
a bit rough, a bit up and down. So
Mm.
like, I mean, the thing with Picard is like I would always watch more of Patrick Stewart as Picard. Like regardless, that's if you all you need to do is tell me that that's going to be the character, I will watch it. Um, I think there are some things that are sort of intolerable and frustrating, but that when they bring back characters from the next generation, it makes sense for them to bring back characters.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
they're not bringing back everyone at once for a big reunion. Like it's all sort of very strategic in its use.
yeah, no, I get that. I get that, but it's just I wouldn't say to me. Pre Star Trek was all kind of always about like exploring things and making things acceptable in the world and stuff like that. And it's just basically
Yeah.
saying, you know, like maybe gay people aren't bad. Maybe
Star Trek was quite progressive for its age. Like the original stuff was like,
always.
a lot
Oh,
about race and gender and things like that,
yeah.
sexuality. Like that's all great. And there's a little bit of that in Discovery as well. But I think the thing that bothers me about Discovery is it's trying to be cool. It's like
Yeah.
I don't watch Star Trek because it's cool. I watch Star Trek because it's Star Trek. Like
Mhm.
I grew up with the stigma of watching Star Trek. I will continue to do that.
Yeah, it's. I think it's hard because the stigma of things that we've watched and in our childhood is the things that are what people want to watch.
Yeah, well
Look
that's
at
it.
anime.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's so funny because uh, I spend a lot of time thinking about the stuff that I thought was really cool when I was a kid.
Mm,
Uh, Anime, video games, uh,
yeah,
Star Trek, like sci-fi, and then also having to have a good working knowledge of things like football and other things that I could talk to other people about
yeah.
because nobody really wanted to have those conversations. Um,
I
but
didn't.
now, like, fucking video games and anime and this stuff is everywhere, and it's the popular thing to be interested in.
Yeah,
And this is not gatekeeping. Like, I'm super happy that, like, I am thrilled to bits that my kids are going to grow up being able to enjoy the things they want to enjoy.
nope, not like that. Can't be
Like
having
the
that.
bit
It's not
that's
character
what we
building.
had. That's what we had. That struggle. Like I,
They're gonna
used to.
just gonna like something that isn't acceptable at the moment. Child pornography.
So I mean, that will never be acceptable. So we're good. We're good there. Like
Okay.
that will never be acceptable, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it is mental to me that 20 years ago, if not just a little bit more, the world was so different in its interests of what was okay and acceptable.
That's happened before, man. That's like rock and roll and the Beatles and Elvis.
Yeah, that's
It's
true. I
Elvis
I
kind of
guess like
this day and age. It's yeah, this day and age. It's certainly things changed a lot quicker.
yeah,
Because
like it's just weird to me
I'm
because
I'm
it
not.
was it was well it was sort of a stigma to like
Yeah,
those things.
it
I
was.
think it's the Big Bang Theory's fault.
The Big Bang. Maybe to a degree, but it's not now. It's cultural
Yeah. Also,
normalized.
Doctor Who. I used to watch a lot of Doctor Who.
Why can't I watch Doctor Who? I don't know. I watched Doctor Who with the folks and that. They used to watch it.
Oh, my
So
my parents couldn't tolerate sci-fi.
yeah. Oh well, definitely. Would watch the Star Trek on at BBC Two tea time.
That
Well,
was
that's
well, we've had that discussion where I used to go out and play in the park and then get shouted back by my mum to tell me that Star Trek was on.
yeah.
Like, yes, but would she watch it? No,
No.
absolutely not. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Well, folks are like that, but they all just watch murder programs now.
Yep, that's
So
my mum and dad. It's
let's.
if it's not some sort of dark Nordic thriller, it's something else on BBC or ITV about a murder or
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It just must be a West Coast thing, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it
it's
is.
all Cracker's fault. That's what it is.
Crackers. Jack.
Yeah, Cracker. What's his name?
Oh, oh, Robert
Robbie Coltrane.
Coltrane. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot about him. No, my
Fucking
folks used to watch Taggart.
Cracker, Taggart, oh,
Rebus.
Rebus. Yeah, shit.
It's been a murder.
It's every like that could literally be the tagline to every TV show on the BBC from like the late 80s until now.
Oh, it was a Taggart and Cracker. I think were all on ITV.
Oh, they were on ITV. That's true. I used to watch tons of oh shit Morse.
Paul Morse. Yeah,
Loved Morse. John Thaw was amazing.
yeah. I never got into the. I don't.
I
I
didn't
always
watch
watched them.
Lewis.
Well, it was alright. It was kind of fun. I mean, I didn't actively watch them. This is what my parents would watch, and what
Oh,
I
I
still watch.
actively watched Morse.
Yeah, nah, never actually watched that. I always kind of, I don't know. What did I watch? No, the Red Dwarf. I watched that
Anime.
anime. Well, anime was like a late night thing later in my life, but yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Also, do you know what's her name? Uh, died. I was going to say Uma Thurman, but it's not Uma Thurman.
No,
It's
I don't think Uma Thurman died.
actress that played Ahuru, Ahura, Ahura.
Oh, Nichelle William, Nichelle
Yeah,
William,
yeah,
Nichelle Nichols. Sorry,
yeah. She passed away
end of July,
in
like a month
July.
ago.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so that's another original cast past Scotty Chekhov dead.
Bones.
Bones. Oh yeah, he passed.
No, I think Chekhov's still alive.
Uh, no, it's the other Chekhov that died. The one in the new movies.
Anton Yelchin.
Yeah. Scotty, Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy's dead. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's William Shatner, George Takei, and Walter Koenig are the three original cast of the main ones that are left.
still alive, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. Ah, I don't know. Made in the 60s, so they weren't exactly young then. They were fairly young then.
How long do you think it was between the finish of the original series of Star Wars and the Star Trek and the first Star Trek movie?
About 13 years?
It's 10 years.
Was it 10 years?
10 years. 1976, I think, was the first one. Uh, and apparently it was Star Wars that is to thank for that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, they had to make a movie because Star Wars
Well,
then kind of like normalized.
Star Wars, yeah, Star Wars was popular and sci-fi. Uh, and then
Wasn't
I think like because I think Star Trek the original series was not particularly popular, but had a good cult following, and
hmm.
basically lived on and built up a popularity through conventions and stuff in the late 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, they had like yeah, they were in the soul. That's another thing about Star Trek I don't like, and Star Wars. Their cultist fandom,
Yeah.
and I
Was
don't
it
like
Star Wars?
fandoms where they're cultists. And everything's got
Maybe
to
it
be a
was actually
fan.
maybe it was longer than that. Shit.
You got to be a fan of anything that you watch. Oh, you like watching that? You must be a fan. It's like no, no. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I wouldn't say like I would go and raid McDonald's for they didn't have that sauce that they released in the 80s.
So it was 1979 was the first one, not 1976. That fits
Like,
the timeline better because Star Wars came out in 77.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't.
I
I
watched every single one of the Next Generation films in the cinema.
that's I watched most of them. I didn't watch some of the later ones.
I
That's
watched Generations,
mhm.
First Contact, Insurrection, and Nemesis. Watched them all in the cinema. Loved them.
Yeah. No,
Nemesis is not great, but
no, that was the last one. Certainly watched the original Star Trek, Generations in cinema, and I went to see First Contact.
First Contact's good.
And I don't know, I didn't see the other ones for some reason. I'm pretty sure.
Insurrection.
Yeah, that's the one with Data, isn't it? And
Uh,
they do a failed First Contact or
I think
observing.
Insurrection.
Yeah,
And trying to remember specifically the best way to describe this plotline.
Data does something, and they kind of have
Yeah,
to go
it's a
cover
violation
up.
of the Prime Directive. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah. So they're on a planet, and they accidentally get discovered or something, and or they go, "Oh shit, we've got to save them from."
Yeah, they've got to move a population
Yeah,
of
and
immortal people.
immortal people. All right. Okay. Anyway,
Okay,
so we
where were we? Where were we? We've done it
segued
again.
segued in the middle of talking about episode 14.
We're at the bit where Daru is now feeling kind of downtrodden,
Mhm.
and all the girls are like, Suzuha is explaining, "Oh, this is
And
kind of my fault."
yeah, and she's like, then says, she's like, "Oh yes, Ferris and that is we doctored the image." Anyway,
Yeah,
uh, and then is does it cut to Okabe in a cafe again, looking over some notes? And my Yuri tries to contact him and says, "Oh hey, we haven't really met up for a while. Should we meet up?" And he then kind of just rubbers it more, and then meets with the professor again.
yeah, I think so.
Um,
We're also at the there's a Suzuha has a flashback about her mum.
oh yeah, shit.
I think that happens after she explains that she lied.
Not to Daru, but I think she has like this flashback of saying, because she's blaming herself. Oh man, I fucked up
Yeah,
again, and then it flashes back to like the point where she's like a child's shoulder in the future, running to her mum who's carrying some shopping, and goes, "Mommy, mommy," and then her mum turns around and goes, "Oh fuck, look out!" And then she dies in front of her, like, going,
she
"Wah!"
gets mowed down by a drone ship,
a, a drone with a fucking
a
minigun.
Gatling gun. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're
then
going,
Suzuha just goes and
with
like
with her
guns
AK.
it down with an AK-47, the least
Yeah.
accurate weapon of all time.
Uh, yeah, probably.
Well, apparently AK-47s are purchased for their reliability.
Yeah.
Like, they're very sturdy and continue to work under like bad conditions. Like they could get sand in them and still fire bullets. They're not really built for their accuracy.
Yeah. I mean, don't hold your finger down and waste all your ammo in it. That's all I'll say,
No.
because playing them in any game I ever had, they always pull up.
Yep.
You
Burst
always
burst
like,
fire.
always end up pointing to the sky.
Yep. That's how
Anyway,
it goes.
yeah, so she kind of moves down the drone, and but like her mother is like totally uh
Mauled.
pinatted. It's
Oh,
like
she's dead. She's super dead.
proper pincushioned.
Yeah,
It's pretty graphic, and then she's like there with
it
the
is.
blood on her face, going, "Ugh," and shoots it down. And
It's
then
rough.
yeah, yeah, I laughed. I was like, oh fuck.
What? A child just loses her parent is like that. This is comedy.
No, not like that. I just like laughed at the how brutal it was. You know,
Okay. Okay.
not the loss of her mother
Not
and
the actual loss. Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
like
I'm with you.
she's proper like flying through the air sideways, protect her
Oh
child from
yeah.
this
It's
gun,
like
and then
yeah. I guess she gets brutalized.
pinned in the air by the bullets. Anyway,
It's
so
rough.
anyway, she ends up on the goes back to her time capsule, and that's where Darius sitting
Yep.
in the front of the time capsule, and she's like, "Ah, I'm sorry, I lied to you about everything. I lied to you about the fact she was getting chat up by this dude. I lied by the picture. It's doctored. I'm not really fading away. Uh, blah 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 blah."
She's
I
just
just
scared.
I just want to see kind of like the happy family, oh, and all that. I wanted to see that because I never got to really see you in my life. For you died and then Mum died, and then he's like,
She's scared.
ah,
She's scared to fail again.
to a degree,
If you
she
no, but
just
I think did she not say specifically that?
um
I don't like to
possibly,
be
yeah,
clear. I don't think it's about failure. Like I don't think she failed her mum. I don't think she's going to fail her dad. I think that like she just has this hang up about not succeeding, like causing the bad things to happen.
yeah, she certainly has something there. And anyway, so um she's like that, and then Daru kind of goes, "No, no, it's all my fault. I need to man up and
Yep.
do this." And then he takes out his phone, and phones Yuki, and goes, "Yo, what you doing tomorrow? You want to see me or something like that?" And then
Yeah.
screams something down the phone. Thank you very much. Something like that.
And then she's like staring at him, and he goes, "Ha ha!" Like gives a thumbs up
I,
after the
I
call's over.
I totally did that, and we're doing it tomorrow.
It's so good. I actually did enjoy that quite a lot.
uh,
Um,
and then they go on a date.
they do, and it's a good date.
Yeah,
Like he is clumsy and he is his himself, not his pervy self, but himself.
yeah,
In
him
the nicest way.
super awkward way. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so you have like he's in the movie, and he's like, "Oh, I could put my hand on her hand as she's resting it there." And like, nope, I'm going for that drink. It's in the cup holder in front of that.
that's
And
so
then
funny.
she's like, God damn it. So she holds his hand, and he's like, oh,
Yeah,
what? And
it's
then
good.
I think they have like a big like moment. So they walk out and do the thing. And it's like, oh, that's good. That's been 2 days in a row, type thing. Because it's must have been either he's referring to the failed attempt the night before.
Yep.
Well, should say that he actually apologized to Yuki on the phone when he phoned
Yes.
him. Um, and or is it referring to like there's been 2 days of them actually going on dates? Anyway, all I know it ends in some point where the basic kind of like stop and then look at each other and goes, Haba! And then he's like, Yo, Yuki, I kind of like dum bum bum bum. You make me feel choo 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 choo.
Ralph Wiggum's her.
Or I was winging some.
I choose you. No, he says, I think of you and I feel moe moe kyun,
Yeah, Warrior Kun. Whenever I think of you, and
which is apparently cute. It's like it's something you would say is cute. I
oh
feel cute and adorable. It makes me feel that way.
yeah, okay, that's fine. I didn't quite pick up what you said, so
I looked it up.
yeah, I did not. and Suza's kind of spying. Oh yeah, we should probably mention the first date where he was like all that like super playboy type person. They were spying on him from another table in the restaurant and
Yeah,
all
they
that,
were. They
and
were.
the butler was helping them as well, was in on it too because he was talking to Ferris.
Yes.
And it's like, how did they not see? How did that not go? And then they kind of encroached on like onto the balcony almost, watching them through the doorway.
It was
And it's
very
like,
awkward.
it's very like obvious and like, do I know them? Yeah, you do because they haven't changed their clothes in any form. Anyway, so is that now Susa is on the loan and just watching from like a bridge of some sort overlooking the plaza that they're in.
Yeah.
And then she turns around after seeing he's doing the thing. He's like, "Oh man, he's a goofball" type thing, and then starts laughing. And
Yep.
then she turns around, obviously catches the eye as the Yuki starts waving at her. Hey, I see you. And then she's really happy that they got together and seemed good and like over pleased at that and says, "Oh, can you please look after my brother?" type thing, and she says, "I will, because I choose him."
Yeah,
The same thing as Dara said, basically.
yeah.
And then Dara's like sitting on the steps to listen to this, and then
He's like looking at his hands throughout
yeah,
this
and
conversation.
he looks at his hands and kind of like looks at them like that, his palms in his hands, and he kind of grasps them. And I thought he was like, "Hell yeah, I managed to touch Yuki's boobs or something like that."
Yeah, probably
And
is what's happening.
and then he just clenches them, and then he kind of looks up, and his glasses become opaque. Is that right? Like, ching! I'm I'm come man, oh man. And then Suzuha sends him on the way. It's like, all right, you guys go away. I'll be a third wheel now for sure if I stay about. And then she turns to look at the camera with a series of serious faces, and then walks out. And then just like Vin Diesel watching what's his name
It's
watching the funeral
Paul
from
Walker's.
afar,
Yeah.
it goes up to
Kagane.
Calgary's uh watching them from top of a building.
You've missed the bit where Suzaha has her sort of bit of a mini breakdown.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we get a bit where the she remembers the final words of her mother. It says,
Yes.
"I'm glad that you've been my daughter," type thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? She literally got like a good 50 bullets in her body, right?
Yep.
All over, right?
Yep.
How the fuck
She's built different.
she felt there?
Just built different.
She managed to get a few words out. It's like, what?
Yeah, she's just built different.
How? She's a robot. That's what she is. A robot.
Maybe.
Sent from
But
the distant
yeah,
past.
it's just basically Terminator.
Yeah.
I think like this is kind of a nice moment for Suzaha because I think it is literally the first honest release that there has ever been. Like
Mhm.
it's a proper, like it's not just she's happy that her that Daru and Yuki are dating. She's not just happy about that.
Mhm.
It's not like it's a release of everything. It's the struggle, it's the hardship. Everything all of a sudden lets go because now it's not Yuki, the person who her dad is trying to date. It is Yuki who will become her mom now. So she like feels that sort of ability to let go of all of
Yeah.
that emotion and frustration.
Yeah. And then all she has to do now is look at that picture and see that it's all there again, and it's all good. It's all set in the future.
Hate that.
Anyway, anyway,
That's the end of the episode.
so what about the scene in Back to the Future where he's playing the guitar and he sees his hand disappearing?
I don't like that.
You don't like that bit either.
No, I think it's bad sci-fi.
No.
Because, like, it's just a little like I like fantastical things.
Uh huh.
They can either be incredibly fantastical
Uh huh.
or they can be a bit more grounded in reality.
Uh huh.
I'm not a fan of when things are a bit half and half.
Half and half. So
Yeah.
you don't like half and half? What's that? Is that like what is half and half? Is that half cream, half milk?
Yes.
Is that not just full fat milk?
I just don't like that is because Back to the Future, albeit sort of for a comedy, action comedy type movie, a lot of its sci-fi trapping is quite based on real time travel theory to a degree. Like obviously there's paradoxes and problems because time travel is problematic, but there are occasions when it takes a step a little too much towards very fantastical storytelling in a way I don't like.
Oh, all right. I mean, it's just I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a visual aid to show that things aren't still quite right, and he's
It
got
is,
to
and
sort that out.
I'm not a movie maker, and I can't think of an alternative way to signal that quite as clearly. I just don't like that visualization.
The easiest way to do it is just like, oh, I didn't happen. I didn't go
Well,
back in time.
I think that's the thing, is it's really interesting because if he was to suddenly snap out of reality, to
Hmm.
just disappear fully,
Hmm.
the scene where he is in would no longer have happened. Therefore, it wouldn't just be a snap out of that moment. It would
Hmm.
be, he would literally be snapping between multiple potential realities.
Yeah. So what you should do is strobe the motherfucker out that scene where he's just going
Like
through.
somebody
Ah,
flicking through television channels.
yeah.
That's kind of, I guess, what I would have done. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm no Robert Zemeckis, so uh,
No,
I'll allow it.
you're Stephen King,
I
the
am.
proclaimed horror novelist.
That's me.
Novelist.
So how do you rate this one?
It's dropping back down to a low 7. That's like you said at the start.
I'll stick with a 7. I think it's okay, but it's very fillerish.
It's yeah, it is essentially filler. It's moving things on. There's questions about Yuki. To be honest, um, about who she is and what she is, because she's always seemed to have these random injuries when shit's got
Yeah.
real. And then there's that other person who also had a random injury when shit got real. The professor,
Judy Reyes.
Judy Reyes, yeah. Um, but I'm starting to think that maybe the professor, like Lincoln, is actually is the professor at the end of is the one from the
Previous
future,
episode.
the
Yeah.
one in the future, yeah.
I He has certainly come across as a bit oafish, and the last couple of episodes he has come across less that way because he
Hmm.
seems very intent on Okabe joining the university.
Yeah, he's literally forcing his hand almost like to this the degree of like, oh, we'll see you next September.
Yeah.
And
So
Daru's
there's
like, what?
yeah, it feels like there's a rationale, an ulterior motive behind that.
Um, she's also mentioned back in episode.
14,
Wait, no,
15.
yeah, we're
We're
14.
talking about episode 15 now.
Yeah, episode 14. When Kaguri arrived at the room, she was crying, and that was like, oh, look, she's crying.
Oh, that's true.
Because obviously was a bit affronted by what's her name, Suzuha said. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's potentially the big bad man in it all. What or
Bold, bold claims.
not big bad man, but
I don't know. Maybe, you never know.
manipulating things. They certainly seem to have the brainwashing technology at their hands.
He's one of the players, I think, for sure.
Definitely a player.
So it's happened. You've listened to another episode of Who's That Anime. We will be back to talk about episodes 16 and 17 of Steins Gate Zero next week.
Mhm.
As we always say, Who's That Anime is an anime podcast and can be found at anchor.fm. You look for the podcast Who's That Anime. We can be found anywhere where good podcasts can be found: Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Overcast, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. If you want to leave us a review, that'd be amazing on any podcasting software you have. 5 stars always welcome. Anything less with some constructive criticism, absolutely welcome too. We don't make any money on this, but if you wanted to tell other people about what it is we do and you kind of like this thing, then sharing is caring. It'd be awesome to hear you tell other people about what it is we talk about here, which is mostly anime sometimes, I guess. On top of that, we also have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/who's that anime, where we post about the latest episodes and other anime memes and such. We have the Discord, which there is a link for in the show notes, where we just occasionally talk about other anime-related bits and pieces. We have a YouTube channel. You can find us at youtube.com if you search for the channel Who's That Anime. Again, show notes for the link there. Colin, what's the latest episode we got? Is it the Pokemon?
No, it'll be Steins Gate, second part.
Second part of Steins Gate?
Awesome. Been talking about that for the last 3 weeks. It's going to be that one, honest. It will be that one by the time this is released. Or
sweet.
Just after this one got released.
Cool. Nice one. Colin and I also like to play video games every now and then. Colin does so at twitch.tv/couchfuel. There is a backlog, an archive of all of the games that he plays on YouTube as well, if you look for the channel Couchfuel. Similarly, I play games at twitch.tv/HailPayman. And there's a backlog archive of everything I've done on YouTube too. If you look for the channel on youtube.com as HailPayman, you can find the links to all of these again in the show notes. And that is us.
Yeah, that is us. We probably should wrap it up.
Gonna have to do so much editing on this one.
Oh, why are we? Just leave it in.
No, this is an hour and 40 minutes. I'm not leaving. This is an hour and 40 minutes.
What?
You will, people who are listening, this will not be an hour and 40 minutes. You will know that because you will be looking at this going, it says it's about an hour and 20 minutes. That's because I cut a lot of stuff.
What? Cutting? Anyway. Oh, that's who. Let's not make it any longer. This has been Who's That Anime? With your host, Stephen Colin. We'll catch you next week with episodes 16, 17.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Same anime place, same anime time.
Yeah. All that. See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.